Hey there, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's quick webinar. My name is Johnathan McGowan, and I am a solutions architect at ConnectALL. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about DORA metrics and about finding DORA and how to find the DORA metrics within your value stream specifically. So first off, let's talk a little bit about what exactly DORA metrics are. And DORA may be a familiar term to you if you're a DevOps manager and you're familiar with the build processes and the deployment processes and the code commits and the time to change and wanting to kind of find out those sorts of things to see how healthy your DevOps organization is. You want to make sure that you're always deploying frequently, that you want to make sure that you're responding to change quickly. Want to make sure that that production is really up and running as well as it should be at all times. And so these sorts of metrics are important to maintaining production for your customers and whether those customers be external or internal. So let me go ahead and I'll share my screen here and we'll talk about a couple of things. All right, so if we go ahead and you can see over here, I've got an example of a value stream that's I put together using ConnectALL's Value Stream Designer. It's a free designer application on the web. You can sign up and create your own value streams pretty quickly and easily. And what I have here is an example of a value stream from start to finish, where work comes in one side over here in the planning phase. It then flows through the different phases. Code gets written. It needs to be deployed and tested and ultimately put into production. And so here's an example of value stream that includes many of those things that we'd be interested in on the DORA side. So if you look over here, we can see where we've got where we're writing code over here in something like Eclipse. We're doing our builds in something like Jenkins. And then we find vulnerabilities over here. We're finding defects over here in production and from the test environment too. And we can actually come over here. We can change this a little bit. Let's go ahead and we'll add another line over here, just like this. Okay, and so we can go ahead and maybe include that over here as well and make some changes just like this. There we go. Now you can see very quickly and very easily how we've now incorporated a different part of something new into the value stream with this designer here. So what we've done is this is great, and we can plot all this out. And we've got all these different tools here that we're using, but the metrics for those tools, how often you're deploying, how many vulnerabilities you're finding, where you're finding them, which applications are suffering the most from outages or vulnerabilities or defects in production. All that stuff lives in these disparate tools, right? So you typically have to go into something like Octopus to see how often you're deploying, right? Or you have to go into various different tools to generate these sorts of metrics. You have to then tie it all the way back into your ITSM tools to look at how long it's taking you to resolve incidents and things like that. So you have all these different things in these different applications, and it would be really nice if you could centralize it instead and look at just one common dashboard in order to generate those sorts of metrics. So what we've done over here is you can see I've got my flow over here, but we've also got things flowing down into something called ConnectALL Insights down here. And you can see that down here in Insights, we've got some lines drawn to some other graphs as well. And you can see these are the DORA metrics that I have displayed over here in my data. You can also, of course, get the flow metrics and things, but specifically we'll talk about DORA metrics here today. But you can see where I've got those displayed over here. If we actually look at that in action, you can come over here and see ConnectALL Insights available. And here you can see where we've got DORA metrics right here on display in one common platform. So as you are committing code, that can trigger an action that comes over here to Insights, and you can start tracking how often you're committing code, how often you're submitting pull requests. You can see actually how often you're deploying, and you can see over here in this span of time, deployments were pretty few and far between. But if we jump up into the future, if we jump up into another time range, for example, you should be able to see that deployments actually become a bit more frequent. Okay, let's actually say maybe the last 90 days or so. You actually see that deployments are actually becoming much more frequent here. And so that means that there was probably some sort of process change, and that process change had a positive impact on the deployment frequency. So making those smaller changes more frequently could have a more positive impact on code in production. It may or may not. So you can actually look at some other things too. You can start to look at things like the mean time to change and the mean time to recover. How long does it actually take for you to get new things into production? Then you can look down here and actually see how long it actually takes to recover from issues that are found in production. So you might be deploying more frequently, but are you having success with that? You can start to track things like the mean time to recover and look for escape defects up here too. Actually start to look at how many bugs are being found in production and look at those over time, so you can actually get an idea then of whether or not you are being more successful with that frequent deployments. So the idea of capturing all these things and starting to gather these sorts of metrics and centralizing them, um, the centralizing these metrics like this is it gives you a single place to monitor things as they happen. As you deploy, you see it right here on the dashboard, and it happens instantly. You don't have to go back and gather additional data. Or you don't have to go back and grab stale data from other applications. You don't have to compile it anywhere into any sorts of reports. You actually have it right here live as it happens. And then these sorts of these calculations, to get things like the mean time to recover, the lead time for changes, and things like that. That's all happening here in the background as well, so you can get a better idea of how long it's actually taking you to do those things. So the idea here is that I wanted to kind of quickly talk about taking DORA metrics a step further and how to actually identify them and how to actually gather them. So the idea here is, like I said, you may be familiar with DORA metrics. You may be familiar with the process of going to different applications and gathering them. Things like continuous deployment and mean time to recover are very important things to a lot of folks wanting to improve the stability of their production environment. But this is all about how to more easily gather them and view them here from one place, so that you can quickly take action on your processes as time goes by. So that's about all I wanted to cover for today. Just a quick rundown of DORA metrics and how to easily gather DORA metrics. It all starts right here by mapping out your value stream, and then starting to harvest information from these different applications into a tool like ConnectALL Insights, so that you can begin to take action on improving and managing your value stream. All right, I do want to pause for just a moment. We'll wrap up here in just a minute. Just a quick rundown today. But if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to hear them. Okay, we do have one question about which different applications can you get commit information from. So yeah, we can do really just about anything that has a webhook type functionality, or anything that has a REST API. Those sorts of applications are great candidates here. We can every time you commit and an action happens with tools like Azure DevOps or tools like GitHub, for example, some sort of event happens, we can capture that event, and that event can then flow through our insights and into those dashboards. Same thing with things like pull requests. We can, there are APIs and webhooks to work with those sorts of things as well. The changes, the releases, the deployments. As long as there's an API to do it, we can gather it and help you harvest it and help you take action on those things. So I don't think I see any other questions over here, so we'll go ahead and close up for today. But I appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us today on this ConnectALL micro webinar, and getting an idea of how to find DORA metrics and how to how to take quicker action on them. Hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you next time.